This is the Donald Scarecrow, make food plots great again. And we are getting hammered on this patch right here. These beans have got established. They have ate them off. We replanted some. They are established. So we just got to keep these deer out of here for a full 5 days to get some growth on these beans. If they bite them off and those leaves are still there, which is the cotyledons, that's the first leaves that come out. If they bite them off and leave them like this one has, as you can see, there's a shoot coming out. We thought we would try these. The girls helped me. You can see they made pretty eyelashes and some gurs coming out of his mouth. And so we're excited to see how well, if anything, this works of keeping deer off these plots. We put 3 on this one farm, and we're gonna kind of give them a test, and then I'm gonna let you guys know how well this worked or if it didn't work. All right, we got another one up. This one is guarding this soybean field right here, and they have really started hammering this here lately. That's where the alfalfa is gonna be. And but this, hopefully, this Scarecrow, we're gonna see what he can do. There's a significant amount of deer damage here, and we're gonna see if he can keep some deer off for a few days. All right, we got our 3rd Scarecrow in. This spot in the field, with especially that little nook back there that you can see, is getting absolutely hammered. So we put another one in. These are actually on 3/4 inch PVC. I kind of like them because you can see it's sitting here moving. It's not just staying stationary like the wooden one does. So as long as that PVC holds up, I think I'm really gonna like that one. But we're gonna see how effective this is. I know this is kind of drastic for a food plot. I know some of you are gonna say, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, because you're planting plots for deer and then you're trying to keep them out. But at this point, if they eat what is here right now, they're not gonna have anything this fall. So it's not gonna help them out, it's not gonna help us out. So that's why we're trying to hold them off for 4 to 5 to maybe even 7 days in here and let these beans get a little bit of growth and get better established. All right, guys, so we are out in the bean field where our Scarecrow is, our Donald Scarecrow, and I am very pleased with the results. I think this is something that's going to be more of a short-term benefit for you than a long-term. I don't know if you can see them. I can see the rows fairly clear, no trouble. I definitely see some deer damage, but most of it is old. These are all, you can see that's new growth, and those are all ones that they have bit off, and then this has started to put more on, and they have left that alone. They're a little specked up right now because I just got through spraying them, but overall I am very, very pleased with the results. Okay, did Donald make food plots great again work? Yes, it absolutely did. I know for sure I got 3 days of the deer pretty much being scared to death to enter this field. This field here, they are still not coming into this field that I'm seeing as far as in daylight. This was a spot in the field that we would drive up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It gets dark about 8 o'clock here right now. And there would be 12 to 15 out here every single evening eating from 4 o'clock on, some days earlier, some days a little later. But there was a significant amount of whitetails staying right here. The only thing that changed is this thing right here. So yes, I think in the short term, this absolutely works. Now, my other 2 places that I put this, also about 3 days, nothing was in the plots. After that, we started seeing deer back in the plots again, eating. So what I would recommend is changing this up. Now, whether you move this around, you change the clothes, you add something to it, take something away from it, keep changing it up to where it's something different. And it takes them a little while to get used to it. One note to mention, this is a populated area where I'm at. so they are used to seeing people. So a person would not terrify them nearly as much as if your plot was way out in the boondocks, out in the sticks somewhere, and you were using this scarecrow. I think you'd have better results longer term. I do not think this is going to be a long-term solution to get beans to chest high. I'm not trying to do that. For what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get these beans established. Here's a perfect example. I finally found one. This is the size that the plant should be, okay? This one right next to it, right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm gonna try it. See how it's brown? That's the top of the plant. That plant got ate off. But look, it's already put another trifoliate out. That plant's established at that point. It cannot be killed. First trifoliate is what I'm looking for. If I get that first trifoliate, then I know these beans can be ate all the way to the ground. They're gonna sprout right back, and they are going to give the whitetails quality nutrition throughout the entire summer. And then if they make something, great, wonderful. If they don't make any beans, I'll come in and I'll spread my cereal rye, my winter wheat, or my buck forage oats on top in it. And then I'm gonna give them food all spring and summer long. And then my cereal rye, my buck forage oats, or my wheat are going to provide them all winter long. So to me, this is a win-win. Soybeans are extremely high protein, extremely high attractiveness to whitetails. So it's something that they really, really like, and they're going to try to find. And once they find it, they are gonna hammer it. Okay, so the way we made these, this is 1/2-inch PVC, schedule 40. It's 7 feet tall. I put about 18 inches in the ground. And then I just screwed a 50-inch stick to the PVC pipe. And then I just stuffed him full of old corn bags that I had from when we could bait. I used to fill my own corn bags, so I had hundreds of them laying around and I can't use them anymore. So I just filled him with just good old-fashioned corn bags, as you can see right there. Worked really well, kept it light. One thing to mention, I would probably go with 3/4 PVC. I had to go and put a stick in the ground, a 1x2 in the ground, drive it in there next to it, zip tie that to it, because before that it was just kind of going like this and trying to lean over. I think some movement is a good thing. I put one of these on a stick and it doesn't move, and I don't like that nearly as good as these. There's a little bit of movement there. You can just see I just took 2 corn bags and I rolled it up, and then the girls drew on it, drew a face on it, and we duct taped one in, and then we just stuck the PVC. You can see the PVC through right there. So it just kind of sits there. But yeah, I'm tickled to death with it, and I'm gonna have a series on this right here of what can keep things out of our food plots in the short term. Obviously, the long-term play is a fence, electric fence. They're expensive. These were dirt cheap. I mean, I built this with just stuff that I had laying around the shop other than the clothes. If you've got some old work clothes around you don't use anymore, you can pretty much build these with stuff that you have laying around. Dig a hole in the ground 18 inches deep is what I did. Put it down in there, packed all the dirt back in, and rolled on with it. Super easy, something enjoyable that you can get the kids involved, and y'all can have a big time doing it. Put a trail cam on it, monitor it. When you start seeing deer in the field, it's time to change something up. Or maybe, honestly, I really think before you start seeing deer in the field, I would say 3-4 days, you would make a plan to start changing this up some, because you don't want them to get used to it, and then all of a sudden you add something to it, leave it in the same place or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, that's just the same thing with some spinners on it or whatever, you know, pipe hands hooked to its arms. So I have had luck using other means, and I'm going to cover those later in a different video. But as of right now, this experiment was a success.